Hi, my name is Sky, I'm a vampire VTuber, and today we're watching Female Gooners Must Be Stopped by Shoe0nHead. Why are we watching this? Totally not because I felt called out in the title. Anyway, let's get into it.
Oh, I didn't see you there. What am I reading, you ask? Well, just one of the best-selling books on Amazon right now. With millions of sales and almost 20,000 5-star reviews, this book has been absolutely blowing up, especially on TikTok, or BookTok, as the kids call it. Thousands and thousands of women, in particular, have been raving about this piece of literature.
Let me guess. Is it smut?
What piece of literature is it, you may ask? Well, Morning Glory Milking Farm, of course. A popular romance novel about a young woman down on her luck who does what every young woman does when facing financial struggle. She starts an OnlyFans. No, I'm just kidding. She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets a job jerking off monsters.
We're only 30 seconds in, and I can tell this is gonna go very, very wrong.
That's right, the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I have been reading Morning Glory Milking Farm since last night, and I'm obsessed.
This was a good time. It did not disappoint.
You are?
This book is trash, then I am a fucking raccoon. Give me all of the garbage.
Get your eyeballs on this because it is so good.
That's insane. Holy.
I regret to inform you that there is a new epidemic. An epidemic that many have yet to discuss. And that epidemic is female gooners.
Smut. It's kind of catchy
now,
though.
for those of you unaware, gooner is internet slang for someone addicted.
AKA all of you guys watching right now. Wait, I'm sorry. Did I struck a nerve? I'm joking.
To porn. And smut is slang for dark romance novels, otherwise known as.
Oh, I've heard of those
correct
before.
About the dangers of
I thought they were
men,
like
how it can destroy their lives
not
and
porn.
their relationships. And most men know the material they consume is weird. That is why they are ashamed of it. That is why they delete their browser history. That is why they go incognito mode. But these bitches freaks out here. They display their smut openly in bookstores. They proudly pose in front of their smut collections. They discuss their smut openly on TikTok. They go to
Did I just see Flick the Bean? Oh my god, what's up the... Hold up, we gotta go back.
pose in front of their smut collections. They discuss
Book recs for when you want to flick the bean. That's insane.
their smut openly on TikTok. They go to smut conventions and get choked out by
God,
9-foot-tall shirtless wendigos. Now, I know what you are thinking. Shoe, isn't this the pot calling the kettle degenerate? Yes. Yes, it is. But have you considered it takes one to truly know one? You see, women are strange, fascinating creatures. For centuries, men have tried to figure us out. Our mood is affected by the tides and the moon. We bleed for 5 days and don't die. By painting my face, I can instantly shapeshift from a 4 to a 6. We are truly mysterious, magical creatures. But one of the most mysterious aspects of women to men is our sexuality. You see, us women are not like those disgusting moids. No, we are sophisticated. We are evolved. We don't watch videos of strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. No,
we don't? Oh, I mean, yeah. Absolutely not. We definitely don't do that. Never, ever. Ever.
Read about strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. It's different, okay? You don't understand. It's okay when we do it. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the rapidly growing popularity of dark romance on TikTok and the recent dark romance convention that ended in disaster. Let's take a break from all this depressing political news and talk about something silly. Not that those political things aren't important, trust me, they are. You should be keeping up with politics and the news when you can. I know it can be difficult to do, but fear not. I have an app for that. So before we get into this video, let's quickly give a shout out to our sponsor, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers an easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by one side of the political aisle and ignored by the other. For example, here's a story about how Gavin Newsom is signing a bill to give 800,000 Uber and Lyft drivers in California the right to unionize. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Rare
Nice.
Newsom W. 12 news sources covered this, 7 were left-wing and 0 were right-wing, because the right is covering a far more important topic. Harvard hires drag performer Lahore Vajistan as a visiting professor.
That is quite the name. Oh, my god. Bro, that's crazy. What? Oh my god.
21 news sources covered this, 20 were right-wing, 1 was left-wing. A country divided, truly. Ground News also makes it very easy to compare headlines, so you could see how political bias completely reframes a story. For example, talking about how Trump has been posting a bunch of those sombrero memes.
Oh, I haven't
and
seen
the New York
that.
Post says, White House official behind Trump's hilarious meme war on Dems revealed. And then a left-wing outlet covers the same story, like, as the shutdown continues, a checked-out Trump posts childish memes. Wildly different vibes
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
I've been using Ground News since 2021. It is one of my favorite apps. Like, it is my go-to, like, when I wake up. I, like, check Twitter, and then I check Ground News, like, immediately.
I
But
do
don't
the
just take my
same.
word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center
much time
called
on
it
Twitter.
an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan,
Oh,
which is the plan I
nice.
use to access all their amazing features. And it's only $5 a month, which is like basically the price of a coffee nowadays. So go to ground.news/shoe
Sounds
or use the QR
interesting.
code here on screen or use the link in the video description. So thank you to Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, for not skipping the ad.
I would never.
Right? So
Yeah.
let's get back to the video. Book Talk is a very interesting place, and any book fans out there know how it has absolutely destroyed the hobby of literature and just flooded it with absolute slop. Spicy slop. You see, books on
Spicy?
TikTok are not rated by how well they are written or how good the characters are. No, they are rated by the spice. And what does spice mean?
Oh.
Porn.
Yeah,
means
I figured.
Spice
I
level
figured,
is
yeah.
very important to book talkers. How much spice does a book have? What are the spiciest books they have ever read? How spicy is the book they're currently reading? Spice.
I mean, to be fair, I've been on Book Talk and I've never seen that. I've heard of dark romance novels and I thought it was about novels, romance novels that had like dark topics, you know, like crime or anything dark. I didn't know it meant smut. I am learning a lot today.
Spice. The spiciest book going viral on Book Talk lately is none other than Morning Glory Milking Farm
Oh
by
my
C.M.
God.
Miscasta.
Oh, that sounds
Violet is a
so
typical down-on-her
cursed.
luck millennial, mid-20s, overeducated, and drowning in debt. Oh my god! She's just
So
like me,
relatable.
on the verge of moving into her parents' basement, when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in the neighboring Cambric Creek. She has no choice but to grab it with both hands.
Excuse me, what? Grab it with what?
Morning Glory Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, and generous pay with no experience needed. There's only
That
one
sounds like a
catch.
dream, though.
The clientele is grade A certified prime beef. With the manly, meaty endowments
Oh,
Okay.
Morning
No,
Glory Milking
stop.
Farm is actually a profound critique of late-stage capitalism and toxic masculinity. In this
Oh my god. Why am I watching right now?
text, we see that the tingling sensation in her coochie is actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution.
That has to be satire, right? That has to be rage bait. I no. That can't be real.
This is every fucking breadtube video to me, dude. This is every Jack Saint video. So I
I've never
actually
heard
read
that
the book
before.
myself, and I'm not gonna lie. The 19th Amendment needs to be abolished. So, like I said, the story is basically this millennial named Violet, and she gets a job basically working at Big Pharma in Narnia, where they harvest Minotaur milk to make Viagra for human males.
Oh.
And I read the whole
Sounds like a
thing.
dream
Probably gonna be put on
job.
some kind of watch list. But listen, this is my job, okay? I'm not out here like selling feet pics or
excuses.
something. What I do is far more dignified and normal.
Excuses.
Now let's take a look at some of these notes I wrote. Let's see. Big dick and balls. At one point, she says the term, and I quote,
Oh no, this is gonna be bad. I can tell.
the seam of his sack. So I'm reading this, and the whole time I'm thinking, like, okay, he probably has, like, a human head, right? He probably, like, looks something like this. Like, you know, just a dude with, like...
Okay, don't get me wrong. I think we all, at least most of us, are not 100% innocent, all right? I'll be the first one to admit. But this is another level of degen. I was not familiar with the Women on Book Talks game.
Horns. Then I see the official artwork. That's a cow.
Oh my god.
Bro is a cow. Bro is a straight up cow. In a few parts, they're being intimate,
What's
and
up
it will
the
be like,
haircut?
his hooves clip clopped. My hooves will tear up
Bro
your
looks
sheets.
chopped AF.
And it's like, I'm sorry, his what? At one point, she describes kissing him. And I swear to God, it was more disgusting than anything else described in this book. She's like describing how big and wide his mouth is and how big and like slimy his tongue is. She's like describing the shit and you're just like, that's a cow. I mean, we are at a solid 5.5 on the Barbone scale here. This is dangerous territory, folks. She also...
Is it furry to like... Is that furry? Does liking humanoid cows make you a furry? Let me know down below in the comments.
his ass. She
Oh.
the cow's ass. By the way, if you want an
Oh my
uncensored
God.
version of this video and all my videos, Patreon. Go to Patreon, become a member. All members get the uncensored version of every video, so you can hear me talking about s***ing and f***ing and f***ing a cow's asshole. Is that what you freaks want? Anyway, I like how in this fantasy
Actually, I
world,
don't.
student loans still exist. Like, we can imagine a world with minotaurs and humans in a relationship, but we can't imagine a world without student loans. Sad. Oh, and he has one of those bull rings, like the nose ring theory septum rings. And in this world, that means, like, you're married, but apparently he's divorced. The man is divorced. This is a divorced cow with a cow ex-wife. The lore is deep, folks. The funniest part, though, has to be when they go on a date. I need to just read this to you. When the bill arrived, she attempted to pull a handful of carefully folded bills from her wristlet before he stopped her. No, that's absolutely not happening. Put that away. She'd not thought about it until the day after their first dinner together, realizing that in mortification that she ought to have attempted to pay her half. What kind of feminist are you? She asked herself. She couldn't remember the last time she'd been out and hadn't paid for her half, including her coffee date with Carson Tinsley. She had come prepared that night, several weeks of her tips smoothed and tucked into her wristlet. But I didn't even offer to pay half the other night and shouldn't have Violet. If the commanding rumble of his voice hadn't silenced her, the heat of his hand dropping to her knee would have. I don't want you to feel like I don't want you to feel that you don't have any agency here. I might be the one giving all the orders, but you hold all the cards. Your comfort is the only thing that counts right now. And if I overstep, I want you to know you can tell me
Is this supposed
so.
to be
But
hot?
That's not happening. Don't think I'm unaware we're at different points in our careers. You can say no, you can say you don't want to see me again, you can tell me to stop coming to the farm when you're working. It's dinner, not a down payment of your time. But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story.
Is this supposed to be like a really hot? He's so nice, he's gonna pay for dinner. Is this supposed to turn someone on? I guess we have different tastes.
She was a good feminist, she told herself, and she definitely couldn't be bought. But if he had suggested at that moment that he would have appreciated
What's
a
feminist in
blowjob,
there?
she would have fallen face first on his cock
Oh
with an
my
open mouth without a shred of hesitation.
Oh my
Inside
God, I was
every
not
woman,
prepared for that
there are
ending.
two wolves. or two bowls, the strong, independent girl boss and the submissive, doting housewife. And in the presence of a masculine man, or a farm animal, she will fold like a lawn chair and instantly return to factory settings.
It's dinner, not a down payment for your time. But I'm in a position to
She thinks
comfortably
it's
spoil
hot.
someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. I said, okay, I highlighted that paragraph for myself.
Clean up aisle 5. So that's what I thought of it. But what
I
did
don't get
other
it.
people think of it? What are the reviews on this book? This book has a 4.1 on Amazon with 21,000 ratings and a 3.6 on Goodreads with nearly 60,000 ratings. Let's
That's
just read
really
some random
good.
ones here. Hear me
For
out.
what that
Hear
is.
me out. A milking good time. Sweet and creamy. The spice is spicing. I was very leery of starting this because I thought it was just going to be porn. The plot is pretty good. The plot? Please. This is like the new, I read Playboy for the articles. Like, sure you do. This book could kill a Victorian child. 5 stars. I'll never look at a jug of milk the same. I think I'm lactose intolerant now.
Ladies, I have to break the news to you guys, alright? If you're into dudes who look like cows, you're probably a furry. Why has no one mentioned this? You're probably a furry. There's something inherently furry about this. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to admit it. You have to be honest with yourself, all right?
So that happened. Our eyes will never see the gates of heaven. 1 star, not a helpful guide. This book failed to teach me how to milk a cow, and now my family has no food for the winter. 1 star, accidentally ordered while on pain medication after an operation. Gave this to my mom as a joke gift for Christmas. You what? Lesai. Why can't human males be more like this? Tall, rich, and handsome are no longer enough, boys.
I
Now
don't
you have
want
to be a
human males to
9-foot
be like
tall creature
cows.
from Greek mythology with a 13-inch dick. I never want to hear from another person about how they read 100 books in a year if this is the kind of slop they are consuming. Well, Ronald, man detected, this isn't for you. This is for women. So take your ass back
Yeah,
to
it's for
Barely
us
Legal Babysitter 5 or
ladies.
whatever the f you watch that is so morally superior than this. Let him who is without sin cast the first stone, okay? God bless
True.
America. It's great to live in a country where I can casually enjoy cozy erotica about a young woman who milks her way to financial security
That
and true
sounds
love
so
with a
wrong.
minotaur. This is what freedom looks like, and I intend to fully
Freedom?
enjoy it before the Supreme Court takes
Okay, listen, I'm not one to judge. But okay, I am judging a little bit. I'm sorry, I'm judging a little bit.
this right away next. If this is what freedom looks like, I'm really rethinking my stance on freedom, not gonna lie. Maybe we should have less of it. All I know is if Donald Trump takes the monster porn, we are going to make 2020 look like a picnic, okay?
Oh, it's gonna be awful. Don't do that, man.
Matters. Oh my god. Edit that out. Editor, edit that out. Women are gonna be picking up Animal Farm now, like, where's the horse? Some of you people owe a certain streamer an apology because this book has way too many 5 stars. Some of you are lying. So after buying this book,
for
Amazon has
sure.
given me a few
Not me though.
interesting recommendations. Would you like to see them? I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. That time I got drunk and saved a demon. Gentling the beast. Cupcakes for my orc enemy, main of my existence. The gargoyle and the spinster.
I mean, okay, some of them are not that bad. Like demons, I feel like, you know, it's pretty common to like demons or like vampires. It's pretty common. It's not that weird in my opinion.
The widow and the orcs. Hoarded by the dragon. There's something about dragons. Getting it on with gargoyles. Gotten by the gator. Mated
The
to the
gator?
mountain bear. Oh, so this is why they chose the bear. The billionaire orc. Moth manager.
All of these are so hilarious, man. It's crazy. Bro.
Wolves and whipped cream. The wolf
whipped
in
cream?
my tavern. Pounded by produce. What? Are they...
I'm sorry. I know I keep pausing. I'm so sorry, but pounded by what?
Wolf in my tavern. Pound...
I've never thought about the fact that people could be turned on by vegetables. And now I'll go to sleep tonight knowing that it's something people like. I just noticed it's also supposed to look like a fucking huge cock. Okay, never mind. Moving on.
By produce. Oh, what?
Oh my god.
Are these the books the Nazis burned?
My husband only reads finance and sci-fi books, and so I think it's about time that I introduce him to some real literature. So the first book that I would like to introduce you to is called Morning Glory Milking Farm. And
No.
it's not a normal milking
No.
farm like with cows. What it is
No.
it's big,
Stop.
bulky
Please.
minotaurs, and it's
No.
a special type of milking.
See, honey, she's his stepsister, and she got stuck in the washer machine again. Women on TikTok are openly, proudly talking about the porn they consume and getting mad at people when they make fun of it. I hereby ban men from reacting to romantasy on TikTok. Best-selling romantasy books like A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Fourth Wing contain descriptions of hot sex. I feel like that's common knowledge, if not their primary purposes. But in recent months, book talk has become full of men clutching their pearls while reacting to steamy scenes from these popular female-centered books. Obviously, this is all a massive performance. We live in the age of OnlyFans. The odds are that these men have seen actual porn that defies the laws of physics and God. Over 90% of men between the ages 16 and 73 watch porn in any random month. There's statistically no way all of these guys are shocked by the...
It's not the sex, all right? I think everyone has looked at porn at least once, all right? Probably more than once, but like, it's more so why a bowl or why like vegetables
itself. What they are gawking at is sex from the perspective of female desire, scenes that depict women coming first and frequently. And what they are surprised by is the women they know love these scenes. In one video, a guy declares, "Now I know why women enjoy book clubs and wine." But his astonishment in itself is astonishing. Like, what do you think adult women were into? Not having sex and drinking wine?
Okay,
Grow
she has
up.
a point,
Imagine a group
though.
of men sitting around drinking wine, discussing the porn they watch. That is what you guys are essentially.
Yo, okay. I know men, correct me if I'm wrong, I know men who have a group chat where they discuss that. I've known a few men that have done that in the past. I'm not saying there's anything wrong, but I'm saying men do that too, all right? Maybe not at book club, but in private with their homies. Prove me wrong.
Do it. It's just funny, okay? Like, it's funny. Are we
Yeah,
really
it's
going to
funny.
pretend that a story about a young woman getting a job milking mythical creatures to pay off her student debt is not funny? It's funny. If that makes me a sexist and misogynist,
It is kind of
you got
funny.
me.
To
To
be
act like you are
honest.
so different and above the other Gooners is just, it's silly. I'm sorry, but you are no different than Joe Schmo jorking it to fat booty Latinas in Space 12. You're sitting there all high and mighty, one hand on the book, acting like you're so superior because you can perfectly envision a horse spinning 360 degrees in your mind. I'm not impressed. The scenes these men are reading, to many people, myself included, are insanely sexy. But purely in terms of the acts being
I don't
described,
know if I
aren't
would call
all
them
lurid.
that.
And as many of the comments on these videos point out, there's much wilder stuff out there. For example, these men have clearly not yet discovered nodding, a popular term in romantasy right now that involves werewolves whose penises get so swollen after sex they have to stay inside their partners until the swelling subsides.
I wish I could go back to what life was like before I knew what nodding meant. I unfortunately knew about it before this video, and before you think I'm like a really I'm really degen, I've learned that through another VTuber, because VTubers were really into that, and I was like, oh, what does nodding mean? Don't Google it.
Oh, Oh, honey, that's not a popular trend in romantasy. That's just a thing real dogs do. Oh, you just don't get it. You don't know what knotting is. What are these women reading, bro? What happened to that, like, stupid fucking corny Hallmark thing, going home for Christmas to your hometown and falling in love with the cute farmer boy? What happened to that? We used to make fun of that. We truly did not know what we had until it was gone. Now women out here fantasizing about getting their asses clapped by demons and werewolves and goblins and ghouls. I remember when 50 Shades of Grey came out and people were like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Women are crazy. 50 Shades of Grey looks like missionary sex through a bedsheet for the sole purpose of procreation compared to the shit the average woman on TikTok is reading. At least Christian Grey was a human man and not a fucking dog. You fantasize about dating the quiet, shy, nerdy girl. You know, she's innocent, she's pure, she's not like those other girls, like going out clubbing and hooking up with random men. No, she's at home, curled up by the fire in a blanket, reading a book, except that book is about f***ing a half man, half bull. Let me let you in on a little secret. The quiet, nerdy girl is way more of a freak than the average hoe. Are you kidding me? It's not even close. The average hoe might have a body count of like 15 or so, but the quiet, nerdy girl is fantasizing about getting back shots from Cthulhu. That is at least 100 bodies. Now listen, there's nothing inherently wrong with fantasizing, okay? There's nothing wrong with role play. You know, fiction is fiction, right? You know, you're not actually going to bang your stepsister, right? These women are not actually going to bang a cow.
I hope not. I hope not.
Or at least I hope not. We all know there is a difference between fantasy and reality. Well, what happens when they try to bring fantasy into reality? Well, you get
I don't want to know.
Sinners and Stardust.
Okay, I was gonna make fun of this, but come on, it's Pyramid Head. Literally, everyone thinks he's hot. Don't look at me like I'm a degen. Oh my god, what is
what
that
in the
though?
eyes wide shut is going on here? Sinners and Stardust was supposed to be a dark romance ball for romantasy authors and fans alike. So what's the big deal? Seems like a fun, sexy time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, if you're a woman. If you're a man, the night may have gone a little differently for you. Alright y'all, it appears I have to make a post that I'm frankly pretty goddamn upset I have to make. This post is for the readers who don't understand consent and boundaries only. A lot of you may know my good friend Animus. He's attended a signing of mine in the past and obviously is a musical artist. This past weekend, he attended Sinners and Stardust and probably had one of the most heartbreaking experiences. So listen, he's a man, right? But do we think that means it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent?
Fucked
or to put your hands in his waistband or down his pants?
That's
or
horrible.
Touch his hello? Do we think it's okay
What?
to quite literally back him into a corner and touch all over him to the point that he
no,
literally
that's
cannot tell how
horrible.
many
That's
hands
a
are on him and whose
crime.
are whose? Do we think it's okay to send him into an actual panic attack because of this? Furthermore, do we think it's okay to interrogate him and insist he detail how he kidnapped a woman, despite him repeatedly saying he wouldn't do that and, you know, that shit is fiction, and then attempt to follow him when he tries to get away? And if that wasn't enough, during the time of this mob, him and another author received notification that an AirTag was tracking him, which showed on his person all the way to his hotel room. They molested this guy until he passed out from anxiety, and then
That is... I don't even have the words for that. I'm at a loss for words. I hope he is doing better, because that's awful. That's really terrible.
they put a f***ing tracker on him in order to stalk him back to his hotel. This
Who
poor
does
guy
that?
dressed like a character in one of the romantasy books at this romantasy convention full of women. That is like throwing roast beef into a pit of wolves. Or in this case, throwing a wolf into a pit of roast beef. I remember years ago there was this thing called cosplay is not consent.
Yeah, it is
Basically, it was
not.
a campaign to bring attention to the fact that people at conventions would often come up to women dressed in sexy costumes and just grope and grab them without their consent. Yeah, apparently we have to bring that back because these women did not get the memo. I've been a furry for over a decade and attended a lot of fur cons. Sure, sometimes weird shit happens, but honestly, I can't believe the dark romance crowd is out here acting like this. Like me and my buddies in our fursuits are more respecting of consent and bodily autonomy. Get your shit together, y'all. When the furries are calling you out for being freaks,
Yeah, you know
need to
serious.
reflect. Something has gone horribly wrong.
You know you fucked up when it happens.
Not only were the men at this book talk convention assaulted, but women were also assaulted by women. Multiple women, including a performer, reported being assaulted there as well. Even an author there said she was groped and dragged away from her friends and said no matter how many times she said no, quote, "My words did nothing." May I remind you, this is a book convention, okay? For books. Literal BDSM clubs are more respectful than this. There needs to be more studies on how this stuff affects women's brains, because clearly some are unable to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Ivy Lipton.
Yeah. Clearly. What the fuck? There's no excuse for this.
Doctoral candidate in human sexuality, actually wrote about this for Evie magazine. I don't know what a doctoral candidate in human sexuality is, but she's hot, so I trust her. Your brain on orgasms isn't neutral. Dopamine release during climax is a powerful conditioning agent. What you repeatedly fantasize about becomes necessary for arousal. If your erotic imagination centers around abuse, monstrous violence, and submission to non-human entities, your brain is reprogramming itself to crave just that. It's not empowerment, it's neuroplasticity at its darkest.
Yeah,
Scientists,
that might be
psychologists, and the general public often state that men are visual and women are emotional. When it comes
That's
to
not true.
sex, men can be turned on instantly by a sexual image despite their mood, and women need to be turned on emotionally to get in the mood. So it stands to reason that porn for men is visual and porn for women is in the mind. I'm not equating porn to smut novels, because one is a video of two people actually having real sex, and the other is, well, just words on paper. I am, however, talking about the effect on the consumer. We know watching porn is bad for the brain. That's been proven and only rejected by gooners who don't want to give it up.
Damn,
but is
she's so
reading
real for
smut
that.
bad? You might say, duh, that's the whole point. Okay, fair enough. So let me rephrase. Is reading smut harmful?
I mean, I think it depends. I think if you have an addiction and you do it constantly, like all the time, and that's the only thing you consume, then you might start losing, you know, your grip on reality. And yeah, but I don't think just because you read smut or you consume porn that you're a bad person and that you're gonna go out there and do awful things, right?
Should we shame people for things that are wrong, immoral, or harmful? In my line of work, I've been told many times that shame has no place in sex. But if I use my brain for 2 seconds, it's clear that line of thinking is nonsense. Incest should be shamed, bestiality should be shamed, pedophilia should be shamed. I'm not
she's not
with
wrong.
these things, but there are 50 shades of gray, so to speak, along the spectrum of harmful.
Yeah.
Conditioning your brain and body to associate pleasure with monsters, slavery, or sexual violence is not healthy. Basically,
sure.
they're cooked. Like, women are cooked. They're frying their brains with this stuff. It's a pipeline, right? It's like the infamous evil alt-right pipeline. You know, you start watching Shoe0nHead, owning the feminists in 2015, and then in 2025, you're hailing Hitler, right? You know, the alt-right pipeline. And this one's like, you're reading Morning Glory Milking Farm, and the next thing you know, you're Mrs. Hands, right? Just say no.
Oh no,
Just
it's
say no
awful.
to monster porn. But why is monster smut so popular with women in particular? Like, you rarely see the opposite, and when you do, it's just like a girl with cat ears and fangs, or like a 10-foot tall dommy mommy vampire.
Not to discredit her at all, but I have seen things. And unfortunately, not everyone is that innocent, regardless of gender. Unfortunately.
With giant titties. Meanwhile, women are like, I want to the pollution monster from Fern Gully. So people on Reddit asked this very question. Let's see the responses. Why do you guys like monster romances? Asking for a friend. Several reasons. One, human men are quite often terrible. Romance books with human men are already partly fantasy, but monsters just takes the fantasy bit further. 2, it's sort of human nature to imagine relationships with paranormal beings and creatures. We've been doing it in literature and art for centuries.
That's true.
It's just gotten a lot
Like
more
Dracula.
graphic now, lol. 3, unique body forms / parts and so many different kinds of dicks. Scary, mean, terrifying creature is sweet to her kind, takes care of her, protects her, works hard to be gentle, etc. Maximal escapism,
Beauty and the
minimal
Beast.
association to real-life assholes, the patriarchy, misogyny, and oppression of women, etc., etc. Because the monsters are less dangerous than dating actual men. As a fat
Damn.
woman of color, modern, contemporary, and even fantasy romances are hard to click to because they are almost always about thin white women and just too realistic, and romance in real life is not always attainable for fat women/women of color. In monster alien romance, though, my
Alien,
size
that's
doesn't
a new
matter,
one.
and it's easier to get into that headspace and enjoy it. I'm sick of the men on Earth and looking for some variety. Non-humans haven't betrayed and hurt me, so they feel like a safe haven, if that makes sense. Plus the unusual dick. Monsters have big, fun-shaped cocks. I love some bizarre peen. Unique genitalia.
All right.
I don't know what I was expecting, honestly. A lot of women smut, especially
I'm seeing a pattern here. I don't know about you guys.
monster smut, is about submission, domination, forced breeding, non-consensual consent. The women are like conquered and taken and overpowered by these monsters. And I think many of these women are reading these books containing monsters and not men because masculinity and dominance in men has been completely demonized in modern society. But the truth is, many women still crave it. You see, the monsters in these stories have those like dominant masculine traits that women like so much.
They're
but
feminists
they're not human
too, apparently.
Men. They have all these traits women desire without the problematic baggage human men bring. Without being the men they hate or have been told to hate. It is the
I guess that's
perfect
true.
guilt-free slop. But they don't just want a wild dominant man. They want to tame a wild dominant man. Similar to when a man
Yeah, they
sees
wanna
an
be
arsehole with a
special.
nose
The
ring,
nose
you
ring.
can save her from her daddy issues. You can do it. It definitely won't backfire and ruin your life. Go for it. Go
I
talk
like
to her.
those
With
rings.
many
I think
women,
they're
there's
cute.
This desire for like danger and aggression, but also the desire to tame that danger and aggression. The desire to be that special woman who can melt
Yeah, you
want
wanna be special.
You see, my dragon boyfriend
You wanna be
could
the
rip me
one.
to shreds and kill me instantly, but he won't because he's nice and he loves me. But
That kind of reminds me of another topic that deals a lot with women too and is even darker than this. So I'm putting it at the end of the video so I don't get demonetized. But that's the same thing for women who are obsessed with serial killers. I don't mean true crime because I understand that, but I mean like real life serial killers. And they have an obsession about them, right? Because they think that if they were one of their victims, they would survive and they would, you know, the killer would be nice to them because they would be special, right? So they have this sort of fantasy, right? Which is really fucked up because, you know, you can fantasize about Ghostface or whatever, but real life criminals, I think we should draw the line there. But it kind of reminds me of that. Obviously, the serial killer thing is like way worse. But, you know.
honestly, at the end of the day, just like the video I made about the anime girl in a wheelchair where men were saying, this is the average male fantasy, and a bunch of women were like, you want to rape a disabled girl? When in reality, it was just a distilled manifestation of the average male fantasy, which is to protect and provide for a sweet woman and save her. This is like basically the flip of that, right?
Yeah.
This is just the distilled manifestation of the female fantasy.
no.
Men are seeing this and they're saying, what do you mean you want to milk a minotaur? When in reality, it's just to have a big, strong protector and provider swoop you up and save you. And like I said in
well,
that
that's
video,
kinda sweet.
they're basically both the
Put that
same
way.
fantasy. This is a tale as old as time, the princess being saved from the dragon by a knight in shining armor, whether the dragon be a wheelchair or student loans, you know? But in this case, the woman is being f***ed by the dragon and the knight sits in the corner and watches or something. I don't know. Maybe it's not that deep. There are some hungers better starved than fed. And maybe as women, for the sake of society, we have to starve our hunger for minotaur p***ness. Yeah, that's the moral of this video.
Smut, smut, smut.
So, what do you guys think? What is your
Ooh,
theory?
nice cow
Why is the
costume.
monster romance genre so
Very
popular
cute.
with women in particular? And who is your weirdest hear me out? Be honest. I don't want to hear no Lola Bunny, okay? You all know mine already.
Wait, I think I did hear me out cake a while ago, and I don't remember what I put on there. I gotta look it up real quick. Okay, so I looked it up, and my hear me outs were Man Ray and Shadow the Hedgehog. That doesn't mean I'm a furry, alright? I think those are very base hear me outs.
It's not that he's a fish, okay? He has an energy, okay? He has a vibe.
Yeah, he has a vibe.
You know what? Never mind. And I will see you guys again really soon with a new video. Bye!
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, and before you go, actually, please check out my plushie. If we reach 100 orders, the plushie, the sky plushie, will become true. And I think that would be pretty cool. Alright, bye!